Hello and welcome back to my channel, Velo Fan. So today's ride, we're going from Weymouth to Portland Bill. I'm actually riding with my mate, that's the guy up in front, on an MT-07. So you'll probably guess as to why we're mates, because I'm on my MT-09. I'm letting him lead because, well, mainly because I don't really know where I'm going. I've been to Portland Bill a couple of times. It's a nice place to go, but because it's been a good couple of years since I was there last, maybe even longer than that, maybe it's 5 years, I'm letting my mate lead. So we'll be following him today, which is probably a bit of a first for my YouTube videos. Normally I'm on my own, aren't I? But when I ride in groups of motorcyclists, I'm generally the lead rider anyway, and so I don't normally like to follow. But like I say, don't quite know where I'm going, so we're just going to have to go this way today. But I would quite like to know, psychologically, what it indicates, whether when you ride out in a group of motorcycles, whether you pick to be at the front of the pack or at the back of the pack. You know, what psychologically does that indicate? Because like I say, when I ride with my mates, absolutely 9 times out of 10 I'm the one at the front. Now some people have said to me, oh yeah, that's because you're the slowest rider, or that's not me, but as in they figure that's why someone goes at the front. But I don't believe that's the case. I've been out on my GSXR 600 with my mates that are on little 125s, little Aprilia RS 125s, and I'm still at the front, so I don't quite think that theory works. Hello there. You're going to see plenty of bikes out staring, because although it's a cold February in the south of England, it is a sunny Sunday, and if you want to watch the film on any Sunday for a bit of motorcycle inspiration, I would recommend it most highly. Although I'm into motorcycles, and I have been probably, you know, ever since I was a teenager and all that, I'm not like, I don't know, there isn't that many motorcycle films that really get you going, but on any Sunday is really, really good. And I've yet to watch the new version of it. There's a sort of second go at it, which I believe was produced or filmed by the son of the original producer, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's not called On Any Sunday, but it's called something similar, like On Any Other Sunday or something like that. So just saw someone do a bit of fly tipping there, probably be on the camera, but who knows. They just got out of their car, lobbed a massive bit of cardboard there in the old gorse bushes over there. Don't know quite what that was all about, but there you go. All part of what you see on your rides, isn't it? So yeah, yeah, it'd be interesting to know, let's say. But anyway, so we're going to come into Weymouth here now, I believe, and you can see a little bit of the quay, but I don't know if it's actually called the quay, this bit here where all the boats are, because there's another bit around the back which I don't think we're going to go through on our ride. But either way, we're in Weymouth, and this ride will be once again similarly titled, I think, to the last ride, previous ride, Glorious Dorset, because yeah, we're exploring a bit of the Dorset countryside on these rides. And yeah, so we'll go through Weymouth, and then we'll rock on up to Portland Bill, and we'll have a look at that. So Portland Bill, from what I gather, was built in 1906 and it sits on the most southerly point of the Isle of Purbeck, not Purbeck, Jesus, yeah, I'll be going now on another ride, Isle of Portland. So yeah, so like I say, I have been there before, and it's usually really windy and wet and horrible, so I'm quite used to getting down there and feeling cold. But today it's very sunny, and so as long as the sun's out, as long as I can get there and get back whilst the sun's out, hopefully I'm going to be not too bad on the old temperature. So with the Portland Bill thing, like I say, the little bit that I said, 1906, and on the very southerly point of the Isle of Portland, I think that's about all I know about it. I believe there has been a lighthouse there for a lot longer than that, because when I checked the date and it said 1906, I was surprised. I just thought, that's not that old really. I mean, I know it's over 100 years old, but I just assumed it'd be older than that. But there you go. So I think there's been quite a number of incarnations of this lighthouse, but it's a visitor centre. There's some little like house next to it, I think, which is where the lighthouse guy would have lived, I presume, and that I think is the visitor centre. I think it's got like the information and stuff. So the fact that I'm not giving you all the info on the lighthouse is probably a beneficial thing, because the point of these videos mostly, I think, is to show people where they can go, you know, like give someone the idea, the inspiration to come out for a ride to Portland Bill, for example. And so if I was to tell you absolutely everything about it, not that obviously I don't know that information, but if I did, then it would sort of spoil your trip. You know, I quite like, it's like if I go somewhere on my own, if I think this is quite interesting, it'd be nice to come here with the family, missus and kids, then obviously I won't fully go into it. Like, let's say it's a I don't know how to put it, but sometimes you can go somewhere, like for example this, right? So I'm going to go to Portland Bill today, but I'm not going to go up to the lighthouse, which is a thing you can do. I believe you can pay to go into the little information thing, touristy thing there, museum, perhaps it's a museum, and you can pay to go up the lighthouse, walk up the little steps inside. Now I'm not going to do that today, because like I say, if I want to come back here with my missus and kids, that then leaves that open. I don't want to just go and do something on my own and then go and do exactly the same thing with them. I'd rather go somewhere, do it, but leave these like little bits of extra exploration. So like I say, although I'm giving you a tiny bit of info on this lighthouse, you can fill in the gaps if you choose to come here or whatever. So yeah, nice M3 in front of us here. He's a bit of a boy racer by the sounds of him. He's been giving it a bit of grunt, but unfortunately actually that's one issue I've got with my recording so far. Obviously I've got the mic and the helmet so you can hear what I'm nattering about, but it doesn't pick up the sound of my bike very well, and it's sort of catch-22, you know. If you have a microphone too, I tried to bring the mic lower in the helmet thinking, well that's good, I'll be able to capture more of the exhaust note, but then it's too windy. So I did watch some guy, and he was explaining that what he does is yeah, see it, there he goes, boy racer boy, M3. Yeah, what he does is he has a separate microphone in his backpack, which is like, I guess, picking up ambient noise, and then he's got the one in the helmet. But the problem with that is I don't really know how easy it would be to sync the sound. Like, you've got to obviously then, yeah, you've got to have a sort of way of dictating the start of the recording of one device, mix, you know, in with the record. Don't know how you really do it. Maybe do a little click in the helmet that might be loud enough to be picked up on the other one. Who knows? Anyway, there's obviously easy ways to do it. I'm just unsure, and so yeah, we'll have to stick with the current format at the moment. So I have spent over the years quite a lot of time riding in and around this area, But I just don't, it's not where I'm from. I don't know Dorset that well, although like I say I do ride around here all the time, but that's what I've said before, I'm letting my mate go in front just because, yeah, it'd be easier for him to, you know, get us there without me getting lost. This is quite a nice bit down through here. You've got all that open bit to the left, which is pretty cool, and then on the right here there's another little bit here, but you can park and go onto this beach, and I always think it's Chesil Beach, so I'll have to see if I can see a sign on the way down here, because it might not be. And this bit we're on here is probably called the Causeway, I'm guessing. It'll probably be like, I don't know, Portland Causeway maybe, I don't know actually. But yeah, you'll see like that building up ahead of us over on the right hand side is where you can go to that other beach, but it's a shingle beach, and like I said, I think it's Chesil, but it might not be. Let's have a look on this sign. Yeah, Chesil Beach, it is Chesil, because Chesil runs a long way. Like I've gone on it before up near Abbotsbury, and then you get on it down here, and it's really cool because the beach is made up of stones, pebbles rather than sand, and rather than sharp and nasty stuff, it's like these round pebbles. And the bit that I think is really interesting is the fact that, like I say, if you get on it Chesil up at like the Abbotsbury end, and then if you get on it down here, the size of the pebbles are totally different. So they start off big one end and they get small at the other end. It's just cool, isn't it? Obviously they get you know, worn away, or whatever you want to call it. They get, you know, rumble around in the sea, and then that obviously must dictate why they get smaller at one end to the other, I presume. So we've crossed that bit now, so I'm guessing we're coming on to the Isle of Purbeck now. Fuck it out, keep saying Purbeck. Isle of Portland, and I think it's because they're both called Isle of Purbeck, Isle of Portland. I'm getting this, I keep saying it wrong. And the fact that yesterday I was probably over on the Isle of Purbeck when I did my little bit in Corfe Castle. But also I think it's because, yeah, like it's weird because they're called Isle of, and it always makes you think they're an island, but I don't think they are an island. They seem to be attached to the mainland, both of them. But anyway, I don't know what that round thing is up on the top of that hill up there. There's like a little round white dome. I don't know what that is. That's interesting. But I've been up round here before, going out on nice walks and stuff because of the beach. Like I say, there's another beach that runs down the other part of Portland, and found some really interesting caves. Like, didn't know they were there, and just that was really cool. So I just went inside the caves and had a bit of a look round. Like, I wasn't, you know, in any caving gear or, you know, that kind of professionalism. But yeah, I think my mate's just pointing out to me somewhere that he's worked before. Yeah, so I wouldn't set up for the old caving, but that's what makes it fun, isn't it? You know, you just go and have a little bit of a dabble. Oh, there's a cave, let's have a look inside it. Yeah, so that was that. Right, so in the last one, like I say, it was yesterday, so this is pretty bad because I've gone out 2 days on the trot, and in the previous video I was discussing this cost of living crisis, right? And I was saying about how it has impacted my enjoyment of riding motorcycles, because like I say, you know, it's the cost of fuel, isn't it? So doing it 2 days on the trot is a little bit bad, like I say, but it is what it is. Today's better weather, it's nice and sunny. I want to take advantage of that. Plus, well, there's another element as to why I'm out today, you know, sort of regarding like the family or whatever, but I'm not going to go into that because that's yeah, perhaps a little bit of a personal situation, not to broadcast. But yeah, so obviously this is quite a steep hill here, and it's not so much this bit, there's another little bit. We'll sort of turn right in a bit up here, and it banks up steeply. And I remember I came here on my little Yamaha YB100, and I remember thinking, oh my god, is this going to make it? And I actually also came up this real, not this bit here yet, like I say, I'll tell you when we get to it, but I also came up this real steep hill on my Velocet GTP 250 2-stroke, and that thing also, I think I was in first gear, can't remember if I managed to get into second or not. Might have managed to get into second, but it was again like touch and go if I was going to make it up this steep hill. Bike I'm on today, bloody piece of piss. Not going to even notice. I've been pulling on this bike. You might have seen, you probably can't see the gear. Got like a little thing to tell you which gear you're in here on this bike. But yeah, some of the on this ride earlier, I've been doing probably 45 mile an hour in 6th gear, which is like, I say on all my other bikes is insane, but it's got that sort of grunt, this thing. That's the whole point in it. MT, master of torque. Now here we go. So like I say, we're turning to the right up here. This is where she'll bank up. Like I say, wow, I thought it was really steep when I was on my little Yami 100 and all that. Maybe it's not that bad actually. No, it doesn't look that bad, does it? But anyway, there you go. Yeah, I just thought it was steep, and I remember the GTP was getting real hot coming up here, really hot. It was struggling, and I think that's because there was probably a bit of piston slap on it. I purchased the bike as a bit of an oily rag roper, and yeah, I'd never done anything to it to improve things, and that's probably because I felt I'd never find a piston for it. They're quite an unusual design and shape, the piston on the GTP. Got this weird sort of scallop bit up the top. There's not like a normal crown to the piston, but yeah, so yeah, it didn't like it. But this bike, like I said, not going to worry about a little hill like that. Is this car going? Nope, yeah, that's good. Oh, he's gone round here. I'm not sure if we should be doing that, but anyway, we'll soon find out. Yeah, like he said, we need to go the other way. I think we're going to find a place to turn around. But to be honest with you, we can probably get to Portland Bill going either way. You can probably get to it going the way he's now gone. But I don't know, like I said, I'm just following him today, which is nice. It's nice to follow actually sometimes. But when you're in a big pack of people, I don't like following because you're under pressure. Well, you're not under pressure, but I don't want to be like left at the back. And then, especially when I don't know where I'm going, a bit like today, it's that issue of like, yeah, you might lose the group. So I'm always penning it to catch up, and then you're obviously always going to take slightly unnecessary risks because they've made a break where there's obviously got an opening, and then yeah, when you come along to no, I think we're alright actually. I think this is the right way to the old Portland Bill. So I know I've been down here before, and there's a chip, well it used to be, like I said, I've been here for years, there used to be a chip shop on the right hand side down here, and it was called the Codfather, and the portion sizes were unbelievable. They were massive, and we used to always stop in there when I used to come out down here with my mates. Like say, they were on their little 125s I was on my Gixxer 600. Yeah, they just never bothered taking their full test. Yeah, we used to stop at this Codfather, and like I say, I could never, it was weird because you used to go in there, this was before like this credit crisis thing or cost of living crisis thing, and so I used to go in there and I always used to feel a bit guilty because I used to think if I ordered just like regular chips, if you like, you know, it's not like making enough money for them. It's like, you know, you'd be thinking they want a bit of a bigger order out of you, so I'd order a few more things, but then I just couldn't eat it. It was just too much. It's probably all changed since then. Probably changed hands. But anyway, look, it's just here. Yeah, see, there she is. Codfathers, sorry. Codfathers. But I think it was called the Codfather. But who knows? Either I'm remembering it wrong, or they might have changed the name. They might have gone out of business, changed the name. Anyways, if you want a fish and chip shop on Portland, I know I asked a mate of mine that lives on Portland, and I said, which one do you use? And he didn't say that one actually. He said there's another one that he thinks is a lot better, so perhaps ignore my advice. But I remember going in there multiple times when you're out on a cold, I mean colder than today. I used to go out on really cold rides with my mates because we're just I don't know, lunatics or whatever, and yeah, we'd always sort of like try and huddle on in there for a bit. It's always roasted in a chip shop, isn't it? Get some grub. Oh, I missed that fucking roundabout there. That was dangerous because could have been someone coming the other way, but we did alright. It is only a little place, this Portland. Now there's one thing I will mention, even though I do actually want to sort of get back to my cost of living crisis topic. I want to keep getting back to that really. There's one thing I'm going to mention about this Portland. the little animal that you would refer to as a bunny, okay, only ever call it a bunny on Portland. Don't ever call it by the other name that you would call a bunny, like the proper name that you would refer to that animal as, because they don't like it. They're a bit superstitious here, and yeah, like okay, we have to go down the hill though because this maybe can't fit. What was I saying? Yeah, they're a bit superstitious and they do not like. No, that way, mate. Come on. It says Portland Bill this way, doesn't it? Sign. Oh, we are lost a little bit here. I think the sign said that way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was on about these bunnies, wasn't I? Yeah, they don't like it. Like I say, they're a little bit superstitious. You're not allowed to say that name, the correct name for the animal. Now then, hang on a sec. I've got to try and figure this out for the old Portland. I'm guessing it's straight on down, isn't it? I know, it says that way, doesn't it? Fuck it. Right, okay. This is the problem. When, like I say, you don't know where you're going. Most of my rides, they're very flowing. Yeah, they. I stick to places where I know where I'm going. And also on top of that, that's why these bikers here, they're probably getting there as well. Yeah, I normally stick to flowing routes that I know where I'm going, and on top of that I try to avoid traffic. But anyway, there you go. So yeah, like I keep coming back to it and getting distracted, do I? But yeah, the bunnies thing, yeah, like I say, don't. Oh look, there you can see a couple of other bikers. Look, there's a popular destination for bikers, and there's the old Portland Bill down there. Yeah, they don't like it because the rock, I don't really call it, right, the soil, the earth, the ground that Portland is on has got millions of tunnels underneath it, dug, burrows, whatever they call them, by these bunnies. And I think they've had problems in the past where houses have collapsed and people have fallen down fucking rabbit holes. So yeah, whatever you do, if you're here and you're not obviously local, which I'm not either, but just don't sit there and start shouting rabbits, alright, because they will fucking go mad. But that was that. But we're nearly here, so I can't really, and I'll stop the ride once we get here, but I'm going to hopefully walk towards Portland Bill a little bit. You might be able to see a little bit of the actual lighthouse before I stop the recording. But yeah, I was just going to move on. See, I was going to move on from the well, not move on. I was going to, how do we word it? But we were going to sort of progress within the cost of living crisis scenario, and I was going to go into the work life scenario and sort of say, like, you know, how that's obviously interrelated to the cost of living thing. You know, our jobs, our work. Obviously, you might be retired, so it may not be a different set of governing factors for you, this cost of living situation. But yeah, that's where I was going to move on with it. I was going to move on to the sort of work element interrelated to this, the pressures, the stresses, the, you know, the wages, whatever, and we were going to move into that, but that's not going to happen, which is a shame, because like I say, what I try and do, I'm always keen to make as much opportunity as I can in my videos for people to be engaged with the video topic of conversation, and get involved and write some comments, because it's nice to make new friends and acquaintances via this YouTube platform. It's kind of like it's kind of like a big part of why I find YouTube so interesting, and it's such a brilliant place to sort of post these videos for sharing. So yeah, so it's always nice, like I say, to be able to get people to bring up some of their comments. Be good. And so although I haven't really hit on any topics that I wanted to explore today, I haven't really hit much on the cost of living situation. What I think people could find room to chat about within this is the fact that we're actually at Portland Bill, and if you're a local Dorset person or just a motorcyclist that wants to find a nice route place to come and have a look at, turning bike off here, but I'm going to have to try and get back to the motorbike parking area, because I've just seen that sign there. It says parking of motorcycles in this area is prohibited, £70 fine. Well, I don't want to be paying that, do I? Anyway, there's Portland Bill. I'll stop the video here now, guys. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you can come down here and have a look at this place as well. Awesome. Catch you later.